My absolute favourite band is the band Slow Dive. I don't know what this says about the state of my mental health, but it started proper raining near my house, so I just put on some classic sort of Slow Dive and just went for a walk in the rain around the streets. And before you say anything, I know Slow Dive are like 2 panpipes and a conga away from being sold in a garden centre, but I fucking love it. They're the only band I've ever seen who have made my face literally like actually explode whilst watching them live, man. Like on my birthday last year, my friend Cliff just happened to have 2 tickets he wasn't going to use to watch Slow Dive at Concord 2 in Brighton, and I went there with Thighs, and man, it's intense. The light show, the just relentless, just droning, just chords. So it's just a jumbo jet parking outside my house. Yeah, it was insane. I feel like if you go on Facebook and just type a Slow Dive Concord 2, the song that someone's uploaded the video of the song When the Sun Hits, and it is spectacular. I started tearing up, but not out of like feeling like sad, but I guess it's just sort of like, it's a weird, when you listen to sort of like music like that, it's like a weird like mix of like nostalgia, and I guess you could sort of like equate the feeling of it to like maybe like it kind of feels like when you're super proud of someone, or like you feel like loads of love for something, but like obviously I'm not proud of Slow Dive for you know, doing well in life or whatever, but like it's the same feeling. It's like when you feel like welling up inside you, sort of thing. I'll probably top. I always do this because it's like what's it called, hyperbole. I'm like the king of hyperbole, but probably just because I've been listening to them all afternoon is the reason why I'm saying now that they're my favourite ever band. But currently, as of 4:45 this afternoon, they are the best band ever. Probably one of the best gigs I've ever been to. Concord 2, tiny little venue on the seafront in Brighton, and it was in winter, which helps, doesn't it? And it was just blew my absolute face off. Let's see, who else would be in the top 5? Muse at Earl's Court, one of the first gigs I went to. Muse at Earl's Court. We were sat right in the tier at the top. It's like 3 tiers. I don't know if you've been at Earl's Court, but it's like 3. There's like standing bit, and then there's like 3 tiers of seats. We were in the top tier, and I remember being quite drunk and stood on the actual barrier, defying death during Stockholm Syndrome. They've got a live DVD. I got a live DVD of like some special edition of, I think, the Absolution album, something like that. They have that song from Earl's Court, Stockholm Syndrome. It's one of the encores on that, like sort of bonus DVD. And you can't see me because it's a huge, huge venue. But imagine me just flailing about on some sort of concrete sort of bollard, like precariously perched, just above thousands of people, and sort of kind of risking my life. But you know, like, if you nothing, you are sort of safe though, I guess, because I don't know, loose. I'd probably have bounced. I was that loose. I'd have probably just have bounced off someone. I don't know. We'll do what I'm talking about. That. I saw a band called Sons in Patterns, which used to be called Audio. I believe it was still called Audio when I went there. And again, there's a video on YouTube of me sort of bobbing around like a drunken arsehole at the front. That's a really, really small venue for such a fucking heavy droning band. Fuck. Should have turned that off before. That was my speaker. Wasn't even using it. Just turns off after a while. Save battery. Lets you know that you're not listening to it though, for some reason. Who else? My first ever concert's got to be in the top 5 just because it has to be. It was a Slipknot Iowa tour, Manchester Evening News Arena. Who was there? American Head Charge, who was some a band who was some new metal band who all met in rehab, and that was cool, wasn't it? 1 Minute Silence. They did that thing called a wall of death where they split the crowd in two, and then they're like on my signal, everyone just sort of run at each other and just attack each other. People pay. We bought tickets, you know what I mean? We paid for that. Paid to do that. In Flames, who are, I think, some Scandinavian metal band, so they were there. And Slipknot, who were just fucking... I was all about Slipknot when I was there. I think I was about 14 or 15. All about them, mate. So yeah, that's up there. All the gigs where I've lost my shoes are probably in my top 5. I lost my shoes watching Truck Fighters. And Dinosaur Jr. Lost my shoes then. Made getting home less comfortable. I almost said more comfortable, but no, less comfortable. So many good gigs, man. Quality, and each gig's probably that slow dive one is the top draw, mate. It's fucking class. Yeah, there was a point to what I was talking about. Yeah, and it's like I guess it's like all the bands that I'm sort of listed. I like downers in music, downers in fucking substances and that. Is what like I was gonna say. There's like a comfort in sadness, but that is a lyric off Nirvana's In Utero album, and it wouldn't be cool to say. I think I can trace back why I'm a massive Slowdive fan from like what I listened to with what my parents used to listen to and like upwards, and you can sort of piece it all together. Like my dad was in the RAF, so we used to move around the country a lot. Lived in Northern Ireland for a bit, and like up north, and I've lived over in Wiltshire and like East Anglia and places like near Bath and that. And so we would have to drive a lot, do long car journeys, and every half term or whatever to visit like grandparents and stuff. And my parents would always play. My dad would always play music in the car. A lot of Pink Floyd, like notably the Animals album, was sort of the start. But they were also into like weird shit, like love that album Enya's in the left breast pocket of the Lord, or whatever it's called. It's in the Memory of Trees. It's got a song called Only Time on it. That's broaching upon Slowdive already. To be honest, Enigma, Return of Innocence, probably the world's cheesiest song. It was on an advert in the 90s. I can't remember what the advert's for, but a boy does that sort of sponge diving. You know, when you do free diving in like waters, I believe mermaids come. I can't remember what the advert's for. I think it's some sort of insurance. But that song, I think it's that song, man. The Return of Innocence. I made up a story in my head that they were real monks. I had no knowledge of recording studios, so I just assumed that they were monks in some monastery up some mountain somewhere, just recording some like monk rock song. Enigma, Return of Innocence. My parents had a 4-disc Gregorian chant collection, which is a bizarre choice, isn't it? I'm not sure where that came from, but again, that sort of slips its way into the sort of shoegaze shit. When we used to go to my granddad's, my dad's house, he used to have all these cassette tapes and CDs. But it was all cassette tapes when I think my granddad's the first time I saw all these CDs, right? And we used to have this big. He used to have a CD changer. It was like just we used to be able to listen to his CD collection, which was questionable. And I can remember the two things that I liked most out of his collection. When I was about maybe 7, maybe 6, something like that. Jimmy Nail, Crocodile Shoes. classic album, that. And also the most Scottish band in the world, Ronrig. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're the band that popularised the song Loch Lomond. You'll take the high road. That's the worst Scottish accent I've ever done. Road, the high road, and I'll take the low road. What we doing? Road. Is that Welsh? Is that what Welsh people do? The Scots. Is that the Are Welsh people Celts? No, I don't know. Because are Irish Celts Gaelic? What's Gaelic? Is Scottish people Gaelic too? Or is that all the fringe around England is all Celts? So maybe the Welsh are Gaelic. I'm not sure, but I think the Welsh are the ones who go. And I'm thinking of the band Catatonia with a C, not with a K. Road rage. They do that, don't they? What was I talking about? Yeah, Run Rig. Yeah, so my brother used to take the piss at me for ages for liking Run Rig, man. But there's this live album where they just have like just fucking just driving, reverb soaked fucking drums, and it's just just the crowd in the background just go mental, loving it. It's like proper stadium rock, but like Scottish as fuck, mate. And that's and then as I got into the teenage years, faux depression years, I call them. That's like Nirvana and like Sonic Youth and bands like that, man. Like all that fucking Sub Pop shit, Mudhoney, Meat Puppets. Weirdly was well into Placebo. I know they're not one of those bands, but loved a bit of Placebo. Look, they're sort of like real. They've got elements of shoegaze. It wasn't until years later that I actually got into sort of shoegaze more. Like My Bloody Valentine. There's a real cool band called Were. They're a Yank band, but they're a good fucking shoegaze band. Brian Jonestown Massacre. A bit more psychedelic than shoegaze, but they got their elements, isn't there? Fucking hell. But yeah, no, love that fucking downy shit. So tomorrow is 3 weeks fucking sober. And I feel like it's been forever. Feel like it's been actually forever. This is the Alkaline Podcast, episode 3. My name is Riggs. We're getting clean, or we're dying trying. And at the moment, getting clean is winning. Getting fucking clean is winning, mate. But feel like I'm not even being diagnosed. Feel like I might have some sort of depression. Not sure. Never been diagnosed. Because normally, when you start to feel the onslaught of real human emotions, slap a beer on it. Get a beer down your gullet. Guzzle that fizzy remedy, and you will feel better. Especially if you especially in the early days, the good old days, mate, because you would there'd be none of that anxiety, none of those hangovers, man. You just be able to drink them. Drink that 12 litres of Crompton Oaks, mate. You'll feel great. You'll feel great. You will not care about those real human emotions. And like, but now there's not really there's not really there's no suppressant for them. So you just got to feel them. And so I've never been to the doctors about it or nothing, but I don't think I will, because I don't want any sort of medication or nothing. Don't have time for any sort of counselling. That's kind of why I'm doing this, I suppose. But so you spend like, I don't know, if you've got depression, let me describe it like this. You spend like, just feel down, and then you'll feel fucking, it's awful for like 3 or 4 days in a row. Literally not want to do anything. Like it's a chore to do anything. You lose all sort of self-confidence, any sort of belief in yourself. And then all of a sudden you'll just fucking be, well, hyperactive and sort of happy. Not happy, but just sort of like wired, sort of like mental. For a couple of days, and then you sort of level up a bit more normal, just sort of doing normal shit. I believe that's sort of where I am now. I've sort of listening to walking around in the rain, listening to Slow Dive is sort of like a nice little water slide into the old depression there. But it's like it's like comforting. It's like, and I feel like what the problem I've had before is I've been like sort of hated the fact that you feel like kind of depressed and shit. And you try and change it. You try and be like, no, I don't want to feel like this. And you sort of fight it. Whereas sort of I was thinking about this earlier on today, starting to be a bit more like, I just sort of accept that some days I feel a bit fucking shit. And that maybe slap on a bit of Slow Dive, slap on a bit of fucking Leonard Cohen, slap on a bit of fucking Lazarus, bit of fucking later Bowie when he knows his fate and is easing into his own fate. Just fucking accept it. Watch, don't know, watch something real sad. Watch This Is England again. Watch fucking The Virtues on Channel 4, which everyone should do. But it's just sort of like, I guess it's sort of like, it's just accepting that, and then like, you know, once you accept it, you can sort of, it doesn't, or maybe it won't affect me as much. It won't stop me from, I just sort of, you won't wallow in it. You'll just sort of be like, oh, you know, maybe just communicate it to whoever I'm with, communicate it to Thighs. I'd be like, oh, I feel like just feeling like down for this. And then she will be maybe like, oh, I know not to be like, what's up with you, you miserable bastard. That sort of thing. Yeah. Just kind of just, like accepting. Because I don't want to go to the doctors and get like some sort of pills because I will probably fucking love them. One second. Right. Sorry, had to take a quick phone call. What was I talking about? I was talking about depression. But yeah, I feel like I've got that. I feel like I've probably had it for a long time. But now that I'm not sort of self-medicating with getting fucking smashed, I have to just sort of confront it. But by confronting it, I mean just sort of accept it for now. And then when I sort of get to grips with this fucking, all this fucking palaver of being addicted to shit, I will, I don't know, we'll fucking come to some conclusions. Well, my hope is that I'll come to some conclusions on here, on this, doing this, talking to no one, talking to you if you're there. But, you know, even if you don't, maybe it's just, I mean, I know I spend a lot of time in the sort of open mic comedy world, and everyone seems to, you know, talk about it a bit in that, but maybe that's just a certain kind of people who end up doing stand-up comedy. Like, but, you know, a lot, maybe it's like quite a common thing. Used to think that, like, it'd be cool to be like sort of like not an idiot, but like someone who can just come home, just fucking watch a bit of TV. I finish work, come home, bit of TV, couple of titties, you know what I mean? Go to bed. There's no sort of, that's fine, and then that's fine, and then that's your life. But then obviously, sounds rubbish, but is it wrong? It's probably sort of ignorant of me to think that those people who are fine doing that, don't have any human emotions, because, you know, they probably do. It's hard to say. But yeah, let's get off the subject a bit. I was talking about the Concorde too, and I've got fucking one of the first rock sort of bottom moments I ever had was, I used to go to music. I went to a music-based university called BIM, which is the Brighton Institute of Modern Music, started by that dude who was in Pitch Shifter. I think he might have been the singer, but he also might have played a different instrument. I went there, and they do this thing. I was a singer, and they do this thing called the end of term gig, where you form a band of people in your year group, and then you do a cover, and they just basically you come out, you do one song, and then you go off, and then another band comes out, do one song, and it's called the end of term gig, and it's the Concorde 2. And I was in a band called Sweet Ether, and we had just formed, and we decided to do a song. We were a grunge band, right? So we decided like hard rock. Shouldn't say grunge because it's not cool to say grunge, is it? I went to Selfridges, right? Looking for suits for my mate's wedding. And they had do you know when you see people on catwalks and you're like, who the fuck would wear that? That is literally just a couple of bags sewn onto like a lampshade, and you're wearing that as a hat. Like who's wearing that? Are you? Excuse me. And then I've thought about it, and what I think is, I guess like designers are like, oh, I like, I'm not going to take all of that, but the lampshade shaped hat, that is, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? That's gonna be the base, and I'm gonna sort of repurpose that onto my Dolce and Gabbana fashion house. But you know what I mean? So I went to this, and they got this grunge range where they got these they had this like brown jumpsuit. And I had these patches of like Kurt Cobain from Live at Reading. And I was all over it, but they were really like sort of uniform. Everything was straight, all sewn on. And then down the leg it says grunge. And on down the arms it says grunge. Which is mental, isn't it? It's mental to have that. They had the same thing. They had like a tartan jacket, red, like, do you know what I mean? Like a lumberjack thing, like or what them Seattle bands like sort of popularized. And the same thing again, these Kurt Cobain sort of patches, grunge down the arm. It seems the opposite of what was going on. I'm sure, I was a bit too young to remember, but I'm fucking sure that it was a lot worse in like 95, 94, 95. Imagine how horrendous it would have been then. I'm sure I've read people talking about that. Becomes a fashion item. I'm sure the same thing happened to punk, man. I'm sure the same thing happened but with the psychedelic music, where everything was that cool to wear tie-dye, and they're like, no, it's not for you. It's for us, we think. But yeah, so we were a hard rock band, and we played, and the cover we decided to do was Them Bones by Alice in Chains. And yeah, so we went. But the thing is, when I lived over in Lansing, I don't know why, but I drank quite a bit of vodka before I went to the gig, and I was pretty hammered when I got there, and it was our turn to go up, and we went onto the stage, started playing. I feel like it was going all right. And then I walked onto the little. There's two little bits at the side in the Concorde which jut out from the stage. You can walk up to and do a bit of, crowd interaction. Stick your hand into the crowd. You know what I mean? High five a couple of broads and that. And I think I have not much recollection of this, but I feel like I tried to tightrope walk the security barrier, which is that a metal fence. And I believe I slipped off, obviously, and booted a crowd person, like just not on purpose, but just like kicked the crowd person. And then there was a guy called Paul Hannon, who was this like Irish dude, was like the university like head tech or whatever. I don't know if he taught anything. I'm not sure, but he when we finished the song, he sort of practically grabbed me and like booted me down the backstage sort of stairs. Like we're fucking flying. It was like ripping into me like, you're finished, you're done in this town, your music career is over. And I'm like, oh man, I was like just sort of laughing about how sort of well strict he was being about it. I mean, we played the song okay. I believe you might talk to my band members, they might say something differently, but just sort of slipped off, made a bit of a knob of myself. Fair enough, but it's fucking rock and roll, isn't it, mate? I thought this was rock and roll. No, had a massive go at me anyway. That fucking had to go and have a meeting with the head of the whole uni, and almost got booted out of university. I had to like sort of beg and plead and be like, I'll never drink again, or like, do you know what I mean? Or like, I'll never like be a knob ever again in my whole life. Swear on the Bible and all that sort of stuff. And they were like, you're on your last warning with this college. This is only like 2 or 3 months into my being at uni. And they were like, you'll never play in that end of term gig again. Don't even think that you can play the end of term gig again. And I was like, fuck. And then I think even the next day or the end of that week, me and my band, who I sort of only barely knew really, went off to go and record our first sort of EP, first album, which is up on Spotify. So Through Gritted Teeth by Sweet Ether. Check it out. Bit of hard rock. And yeah, it's quite embarrassing. We got the coach over to Wales, I believe, the trainer and the coach in some order. And, it's a bit like, sorry everyone for that. But yeah, we did, the next time it came out to doing these auditions for the next end of term gig, we were like, what can we do? And we did Sober by the band Tool, which is fitting. We were like, we may as well just audition for it, see what happens. I can't remember if it was the very next one or the one after, but it was one of them. But let the dust settle a bit. And the dude who was doing the audition was like, I know your band, but that was really good. So you can be on it. And yeah, because I guess I was maybe like nervous about performing or something. That's why I used to drink quite a lot before a performance. I mean, I used to drink quite a lot anyway, but a lot before performances. Not loads, and I felt like sometimes I feel like I have to. I will say this. I did have a shot of vodka at the bar before we went on stage. But we played it really good. And it's just my little shot, my little pick-me-up. Firing on all fucking fronts, man. Yeah. Man. Not all drinking stories are bad, man. Like, that one started off bad, but it ended up with a cool... Like, we got back on the thing. We played the fucking song about fucking being sober. Got accepted back into the community. I feel like somebody told me who started uni after me, like was in like the year below or whatever, that they played the video of, because they filmed the whole concert, like the whole thing, where of all the other bands as well. They filmed my sort of incident, and somebody told me that they started showing it to the new starters when they were talking about the end of term gig to them. They showed them that video of like, this is what not to do. And I don't know if that's true. If anyone ever listens to this who got shown a video of fucking some twat falling off the stage at Concord 2 and then getting fucking attacked by a large, long-haired Irish man, let me know. Because that'd be cool to know if that's true or not. But I've been told by a couple of people that they seen it and then they're like, oh my God, you're that dude. And I was like, cool, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Any publicity is good publicity. That's what they say. I mean, it didn't help us really locally because no one ever came to see our band. But, it's kind of a funny story, I suppose. I was going to say something right at the end then. Yeah. I guess because they're never going to approach me to be in the alumni. Do you know the alumni? When you go into alumni, what a word, alumni. Bit of the website. They've got what's his face, James Bay. James Bay and his hat are on they're alumni. Who else is alumni? The Kooks are alumni. I guess we're all alumni. Just most of us aren't notable alumni. Who we got? Heart of a Coward. Steve Haycock from Heart of a Coward. He's alumni. There's all sorts of people, but I'm never going to make it onto the alumni. But I am. They're using my video as a demonstration of something. So that's all right, isn't it? Is that all right? Is that okay? No? Is that not something? I feel like it's something. So, not alumni, not notable alumni, but sort of disreputable alumni. They should have a page for like, these are the people who went here that we don't want to talk about. But then I suppose that would be talking about it, wouldn't it? So that's probably why they don't have a disreputable. It's quite hard to say. I've never really said that before. Disreputable alumni. So, yeah. Now I'm doing stand-up comedy. But yeah. 1 second. So I found this thing in TK Maxx yesterday, and this is like episode 3 of the podcast, but I did do 2 previous ones before the official first one. And in the first one, I spoke about going to the GP for the first time, to sort of get help, to sort of get like stopping drinking advice, and she asked me to watch this documentary, which I still haven't watched, by Adrian Childs. And the way she described him was by calling him pug-faced Adrian Childs, which it's ridiculous, isn't it? Pug-faced. Like, is he? I don't know. But I was in TK Maxx, right? And I found British hunks top trumps. And it's fucking great. It's really good. Adrian Childs is in it, right? So I was a bit mean calling them pug face, but listen to this. He has got sex appeal 3, charisma 1, out of 10. Obviously, you know how top trumps works. Style 1. I mean, that is the same score that I would give to a pug. The person who made these cards has probably got a bit of an agenda, because if you look at our man Jeremy Corbyn, Jerkor, I heard someone say a shortened version of it, and I couldn't remember what they said. Jezco, Jerembin. Anyway, current leader of the Labour Party, he's an unconventional left-wing politician with his wrinkled beige suits and unkempt beard. He's a heartthrob for the many, not the few. Sex appeal 1. Charisma 2. Out of 10. Lead the country with your 2 charisma. Style 0. Likeability 7. But I feel like I'm going to say she. Could be anyone who made these. I can't see where it doesn't have an author. It says it's made in China. I'm not sure what that means, but it wasn't designed in China. Let's have a look here. It says on the back, disclaimer, all category ratings are subjective. After all, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Ed Miliband, sex appeal, 10. He looks like a Wallace and Gromit character. Charisma, 0. How can somebody have sex appeal of 10 with 0 charisma? It's like if, like Brad Pitt was walking towards you and he was like, hey, like, how's it going? And it just like fell down a drain. Like, whoa, shit! Or just like tripped over his lace and just like fell into some shit. Or something like that. Ed Miliband. Charisma, 0. Style, 2. That's 2 more points than Jez has got, mate. Jericho. So that's Ed Miliband, man. He's a UK politician and ex-leader of the Labour Party, known for his Wallace-like grin, there you go, I said that, and awkward demeanour. He was constantly criticised by the UK media. Bacon sandwich, anyone? Anyway, I fucking love these cards, dude. We got Bojo, our man Boris Johnson. I feel like she likes him because he's got a better score across the board. A sex appeal 5. That's like an average looking bloke. But charisma 9, which I think is fucking mental. The lovable the buffoon or ruthless Tory politician. He's a prolific figure in the UK politics as past mayor of London and leading Brexiteer. His tousled blonde mop is nearly as notorious as his savvy political manoeuvres. Savvy political manoeuvres, that is. We've got fucking loads. We've got Paxman, fucking Piers Morgan. There's 13 comedians in here. 13 British comedians. I guess these are the most famous. Maybe they're the most famous British comedians, so I'll just fucking reel them off quick. Hang on, here we go. Corden, Dara O'Brien, and Lenny Henry, David Mitchell, Jimmy Carr, Richard Osman, Richard Ayoade, David Walliams, Ricky Gervais, Bradley Walsh, Alan Carr, Alexandra Armstrong, Noel Fielding, Keith Lemon. Is Keith Lemon one? Don't know, I've added them in. Right, that's it. They're all comedians. Are they? Hard to say. Right. What's going on? Stephen Fry. Yeah, Stephen. I didn't even add him in. How? It's been so long, Stephen. Sorry, mate. I'll put you in there. Look. Stephen Fry, sex appeal 5. So the person who's made this is saying that they think Stephen Fry is just as attractive as Boris Johnson, which I think's a bit mean. I'm not entirely sure. Piers Morgan, sex appeal 6. Likeability 0, but I'd fuck him. That's what she's saying. I would fuck him though. Class. Danny Dyer's in it, fucking sex appeal 10. And Ian Beale's got 1s across the board, so what have we learned from that? I'm not entirely sure. But it was fun to say, wasn't it? British hunks top trumps, which is also quite fun to say. Man, that is good shit. In the paper today, all of the people who want to be the Prime Minister have just, for some reason, told everyone all the drugs they've taken in their life. And it's all bollocks. It's absolutely bollocks. It's what you'd say if your parents caught you smoking. You'd be like, oh, I tried it like once, but I didn't really like it. But whatever, mate. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always like, it's always like, oh, I experimented with it in university, but I didn't inhale. This is bollocks. It's absolutely bollocks. You were off your tits, mate. You were raving it up. Legal raving it up. Fucking Michael Gove. I've seen you. I've fucking seen you, mate. Down the canal. I imagine he lives in Oxford, does he? Don't know. But, yeah, hang on. Give me 1 second. So, first of all, Boris Johnson's here. Oh, this is quite a long time ago, 2007, 2008. But they're bringing it up again. That's fun, isn't it? To keep bringing it up. He originally said that he took cocaine in university, but then later changed the story that he was offered it, but didn't take it. But my take on it is that he's still on cocaine, relentlessly. Dominic Raab said he made a mistake trying cannabis at university, but insists it was not very often as he was into sport. Jeremy Hunt loves a bit of weed. He's confessed to drinking a yogurt-based cannabis lassi whilst backpacking through India in his youth. And sounds delicious. Should own that, Jeremy Hunt. Weed's fine. Everyone's agreed, man. Like, if Donald Trump can lead a country that's fucking legalizing weed left, right, and centre, then I'm sure we can fucking do it. Let's get some fucking cafes over here. We'll get fucking Jeremy Hunt down. We'll put cannabis lassi on the menu. Jerry, just have at it, man. You can be the Prime Minister and you can be fucking mellowed out. Be great. There's no problem. This is a funny one. This is like quite the next one is it's quite removed from the rest of the people because Rory Stewart loves a bit of opium. Says he made a stupid mistake smoking opium from a pipe during a wedding party in Iran 15 years ago. Had a bit of opium, man. Smoked a bit of heroin. Chased the dragon. I'd vote for him, man. He's got the face of a man who has chased a few dragons. Andrea Leadsom. She's fucking loves getting high. Matt Hancock. Don't know who he is really, but he fucking loves getting high. Gove. This is the only story out of them that I believe. He admits he took drugs on several occasions. And he's the only one who said several occasions. Everyone else has said, I've taken it once. I tried the cannabis lassi once. I smoked weed once. I was offered cocaine once. At least Michael Gove has said that he's taken it several times. Because no one's done it once. Unless you had such a bad time. Or you were just hanging out with someone who you just never saw again. But everyone who's done it has done it more than once. That's my take on it. I mean, I don't know, is that bollocks? It's hard to say. When he was a journalist, he says he took cocaine several times when he was a journalist. And journalists are off the fucking nut. They're all on that. They're all on like prescription fucking amphetamines at the moment. Is what we're led to believe. Esther McVeigh. She loves getting caned. She tried some pot when she was much younger, but she's never taken cocaine and never would, which I feel like is a direct attack at Michael Gove, which is fine. I don't know why I feel the need to say all this. It's weird. It's weird to say all this stuff. I know people who used to like sort of have these little like mini meltdowns and used to just confess all of their what they've done in their lives to the parents. So you didn't need to do that. I mean, if my parents listen to some of this, then they're gonna. That's what I'm doing, just very publicly. To you, to everyone, to you. Are you over there? Oh, you. You. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? It's just weird that they have to feel like anyone gives a fuck. But it's not going to affect... Just don't do it when you're in the G8 summit. Don't do it there. Do it after that. I mean, it'd be alright, but get Putin involved. Is he part of the G8? I fuck knows. Whatever. Invite him down anyway. Be like Ali G. Send someone out for a bit of... Send someone out for some fucking lunch. Bring it back. It'd be great. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like, as I was saying, like, I just was walking around in the rain, listening to Slow Dive and thinking about my sort of mental state. And you know, now I can't just fucking hide behind a fucking lager. It's got to sort of face it. So what I'm doing is just gonna fucking accept it. Accept that sometimes that's what's gonna happen, man, and then get used to that feeling, I suppose, and sort of embrace it. Don't let depression get you down. I don't know if it's healthy, man. I don't know if it's a good thing to do, but it's what I feel like it's what I have to do. Otherwise, you just fucking feel like shit all the time. So just sort of embrace it. Maybe like fucking lean into it. Watch some nostalgic films when I was a kid. Watch The Lion King. I watched fucking half a Babe, you know, the Sheep Pig last night, just to get that nostalgia kick, man. I remember watching that at the cinema when I was a kid. It's a pretty fucking harrowing and hard hitting film about the life of a sheep pig. But you know, watch that and yeah. Yeah, man. Alkaline Podcast episode 4 is motherfucking Monday, the 10th of June. Yeah, what's this? 20 days off, 20 days on the wagon. And it's going fine. It'll be 20 days tonight, to end of tomorrow. That's 3 weeks if I can do maths in any capacity. 3 weeks. Got a few weddings coming up. That's going to test the old willpower, but I'm sure it'd be fine. Surrounded by people who know, so that's cool. Anyway, if you're listening, thanks for listening. If you're not, then you're not there. And this Thursday, Verdict Comedy Club, Sam Savage and 7 other awesome comedians, all for £3 on Edward Street in Brighton. Starts at around about 8. Come down, man. Tickets will be available on the door. Tickets also available in advance if you phone the venue. Just Google the Verdict Jazz Bar and Cafe. That's the comedy club that I promote and book. My friend James McDonald MCs it. I occasionally do spots there. Not this time because it's full lineup, man. But everyone is fucking class. So come down to that. And yeah, thanks for listening. That's me. Peace.